Hello and welcome to the next America vlog. We are currently in Honolulu Airport because we are about to head to San Francisco. You excited?
I'm very excited.
Let's do it. Good morning from San Francisco. I'm so excited to be able to say that. This is our second leg of our little American journey. I think I explained that at the end of my Hawaii vlog, which if you haven't seen, definitely go and check it out. We have just arrived. So last night we actually stayed in a hotel at the airport, which is quite out of character for us. Usually I would just get straight into the city, but we landed quite late, and also I actually booked the flight for the wrong day. But that's a story for another day. Honestly, I booked like 8 flights all at the same time. I knew I would have messed one of them up. Luckily, we knew in advance. Like, we didn't rock up thinking we had a hotel. We knew that we were staying at the airport, but we were meant to be in the city, but then we weren't. But it actually worked out quite well because it meant we just got straight off the plane, went to sleep, and now I feel really refreshed this morning, actually. We have just come in to the city of San Francisco, and for the first time ever on a trip, I've done no research ahead of coming here, like nothing at all. Tom has done all of it. Like, this is fully Tom's trip. Tom has had this like fascination with the city of San Francisco for as long as I have known him. San Francisco's been top of his bucket list. He's been like, San Fran, San Fran. And to be honest, I actually don't know anything about the city like at all, other than it has the Golden Gate Bridge and it's in North California. Like, that's it. Tom is somewhere behind me. We're actually staying in a hostel. I've never stayed in a hostel in the US before, but I booked this one and it looks really nice. We can't check into the room yet, so we've just come into here where they've got like water and tea and coffee and stuff. Dropped our bags off and now we're gonna head and explore the city, aren't we?
We are. First stop is, am I telling them?
Yeah.
First stop, Golden Gate Bridge, of course.
Obviously, I feel like that's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Do you feel a sense of pressure that you've planned all of this and I'm just like following around like a little puppy?
Hopefully you'll enjoy it.
I'm excited. I'm a bit nervous. I'm apprehensive when it comes to the food choices because, like, if you watched my video that went up last week, I love researching restaurants and like pride myself on finding nice eateries. However, I actually struggle quite a lot in America because a lot of places, not to stereotype, but a lot of places I struggle to find good veggie options.
It's very meat heavy,
Super.
which is perfect for me.
Well, the thing is, it's not even
so
that.
much for you.
Like in Hawaii, it wasn't even that. In Hawaii, it was really fish heavy. Obviously, it's an island. Here, I'm like, surely there's going to be way more options. It's San Francisco.
Yeah, I've already found some, so
yeah,
you'll be absolutely fine.
Anyway, let's go. Golden Gate Bridge time. Nah, guys, I've just seen one of these driverless cars. This is it a Tesla? No. There's nobody in that. What is the point of it driving around? We look like such tourists. Here we go, guys. Of course, the first stop on the Tom tour of San Francisco was this lookout to see Alcatraz prison, which, spoiler alert, you've probably already seen on Instagram by now. We're actually going to have a tour of it on Saturday. Is it Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, 2 days time. Quite exciting. I have seen the film. We actually watched it again last week just to remind myself of the movie because I think it was a film Tom and I watched when we first got together because it's like Tom's favourite movie of all time. He's shaking his head. One of. It's a good film. It's very dated. I didn't realise how old it was, but there it is, guys, sat in San Francisco Bay. If you don't know any history of this, basically it was like one of the US's most high security prisons, and I would say it's probably most famous now because people did successfully escape from it. Tom's beckoning me down these stairs. Okay, I'm about to see the bridge for the first time. You have to laugh. Here it is, guys, the Golden Gate Bridge. This city is famous for its fog, and it's not like it's down, it's really saying, yeah, I am famous for being really foggy. It is clearing, it's lifting it. It's funny how it's sat literally just above the tower. Tied my hair up super loosely just because it's so foggy, but the fog is like wet. Like, I don't know how to describe it, it's like mist. And when we're walking, my hair's just getting soaked. It's like the kind of mist where you can't see it, doesn't look like it's raining, and then I felt my hair and it was just soggy and I was like, okay. So we have come for breakfast at Mel's Diner, which apparently is quite famous in California. They've got locations across all of California, and it is the most American diner, sorry it's so loud in here, the most American diner looking place I've probably ever seen. Look around, guys. We've got, everything is red, white and blue. Everything everywhere has the flag on it. There's like jukeboxes on the walls, and there's a massive jukebox here at the front. It's so USA. Yeah, guys, I've got a cappuccino with potentially the most froth on it I've ever seen. I'm quite excited, to be fair, because they don't serve them like this in Australia. Like, a cappuccino in Australia is like a work of art. This is like just milk. Also, they're playing some bangers. Like, I know the people in here are picking what's on. We don't have any quarters, so we can't use the jukebox, but like, breakfast is served, and it looks so good. These pancakes, I'm gonna pour the syrup on now. They look ridiculous, man. so hungry as well. We didn't have dinner last night because we landed so late, we just went to bed and I was starving. Here we are guys, we are at the Golden Gate Bridge Welcome Centre. We're going to pop inside and then we're going to head over to the bridge, even though it is currently thick fog. You literally cannot see the bridge at all, but maybe it'll clear. We have walked, actually no, we got the bus. The bus was only $2, really good way to get around. $2.50, sorry, yeah, $2.50 on the Clipper app, was it?
If you've got an iPhone, I imagine it's the same on Android as well, but it's literally like you just add it in your Apple
in your Apple Wallet, so straightforward. However, as you can see, the fog's not really letting up. It did temporarily sort of lift when we went for breakfast, but obviously we're eating breakfast. And the wind is something as well. But we did just spend some money in the gift shop. I got some lovely stuff though. Like, I'm trying really hard to not buy tat, and I wouldn't say any of this is tat. Like, it really is a lovely gift, and some of it's for my mum and dad as well. So that's my excuse. There's a tour going on here, and we're like, maybe if we just stay close and listen in, we can just learn some stuff for free. Okay, so the bridge has now completely disappeared. Like, as you can see, we are in a cloud, and the guy in the welcome centre said to me, he was like, oh, it's actually sunny in the city, it's just notoriously foggy right here, which is obviously very unlucky for all the visitors visiting the bridge, including us. But we are going to come back because I've looked at the forecast, and the day after tomorrow looks currently clear skies. Run, run, run. So this is the first ever time, guys, that I have seen an In-N-Out burger, and I probably would never heard of them if they weren't like famous on YouTube. I feel like every YouTuber that's ever been to LA has done like an In-N-Out burger mukbang. Sadly, I don't think that they're gonna do any veggie options, so they might, but I very much doubt it. I really do think you should try it at some point though, Tom. Tom can review it for you, but yeah, here we go. Guys, we are at the Boudin Sourdough Factory and Bakery and Bar, and I wish you could smell it. I can't even tell you how insane this bakery smells. Like, imagine freshly cooked bread like right in front of you. It is ridiculous. I think we're gonna pop it, see if they have anything small that we could maybe buy to satisfy Tom's snack craving. This is just insane in here. We've got so many lovely things for sale. It looks so good. If you like seafood, this is 100% the place to come and eat in San Francisco. There's so many cool restaurants all the way down this high street. There's fish restaurants and sushi restaurants literally everywhere. Sadly, we're not into seafood at all. So this random house, just this regular house, has put the Chamber of Secrets entrance on the front door and then turned it into a tourist attraction on maps, so that when you actually like click on it, it's like, oh, tourist location, Harry Potter door. And I was like, what is this? That's so random, and we had to walk past here anyway. So here is the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets. Wasn't expecting to see that today. This is San Francisco's famous Bendy Road. I'm not sure what its official name is. It's probably not that. Lombard Street. Yeah, it's just Lombard Street. But is it the most bendy road in America? The world? I've never seen a road like this. We are currently walking through Chinatown. So many cool shops down here, guys. We've actually just been in a couple, maybe did buy a jumper. But yeah, it's really cool around here, very colourful. Loads of street art just everywhere, which is really sick. Yeah, I really like this actually. Okay, the lighting in here is just terrible, but I've got a new jumper. This is in place of a jacket because it's very cold and very windy, and I only have hoodies, but I feel like that's actually a sensible decision because ultimately I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe I'll hold you up here. Back to Australia, where I don't really need like a big coat, even though we are gonna be back in Melbourne. I think jumpers and hoodies hopefully will be enough. Anyway, we are in the hostel. This is our little pod. Okay, I was saying that we're staying in like a pod style hostel, but then somebody else walked in the room and I was like, goodbye camera. Yeah, we're staying in this pod style hostel, and I thought we did have a private room, but I think I really misread that when we booked it. It meant that we had a private pod, which is bloody good. I'm glad it's a private pod and not a public pod. It's actually really nice. I think we can go. It's super, super modern. It's based on like the popular pod style hostels that are in like parts of Asia. We've actually never stayed in one before, but they are quite popular. This one is like a New York based company that have one here in San Francisco. Yeah, booked this because it was cheap, looked nice, looked safe, looked modern, looked clean. It is all of the above. Yeah, it's nice. The bed was comfy as well. Oh my god, the bed has a remote control and you can like make it into a chair or you can like raise your feet up or raise your head up, or like if you prefer to sleep at an angle. Yeah, remote control bed. First time ever in a hostel.
Yeah, we're gonna head for dinner now. We're gonna get Mexican. We've been craving Mexican. It's probably like the one cuisine. Actually, no. Probably like this and Italian are like the two cuisines that we always agree on.
I was actually having this debate, or not debate, I was saying this on my Instagram not that long ago, like they are my top 2 foods, without doubt.
I feel like they're very easy. Like there's a lot of cuisines that I like, but there's maybe only like a couple of things off the menu that I'd like.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like with Italian and Mexican,
Everything.
I can have like nearly anything off the menu.
Plus, there's a really heavy Mexican influence on San Francisco because the state of California actually used to belong to Mexico. I think I've read that right. Like way back when, like in the 1800s. And there's obviously a lot of heritage, a lot of like things that have been passed down throughout like loads of generations. When I was Googling it, it was like, this Mexican restaurant's been here for like 300 years. And I was like, wow, for the US, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
So we're heading to one now. The Mexican has not disappointed. Oh my God, it looks so good. It's so loud in here, so I don't know if you can really hear me. 10, 10, 10. Tom's gone for fajitas. So we just came out of this bar, which was called Fona Bar, I think. Yeah, Fona Bar. Oh, Tom's walking off. It was really nice, but it was quite expensive, actually, not gonna lie. Do you remember the name of the restaurant that we were in?
I've got the hiccups.
Brilliant.
Perhaps something.
Yeah, also started with a PH. I'll pop it on the screen. That was really, really nice, and also wasn't that expensive. Like yeah, it definitely could have been more.
Was it Papito or Papito?
Yeah, it was something like that. But yeah, no, really decent value for money because we got big portions as well. I will say I totally forgotten about the tipping culture in the US because there just isn't one in Australia, and that's actually quite nice. Not in a really awful way, but I'd forgotten that in the US when you order anything, when there's 2 of you, that adds up, and I'm like, oh, I'd forgotten that this was normal because it just really isn't a thing in Australia. Nobody really tips, so it's okay, we're getting used to it. It's fine, it's just quite an expensive state. Good morning from San Francisco. It is day 2 here, and I am so excited because we are actually going to Alcatraz today. We initially thought we were going tomorrow, and then we checked the tickets and it's actually today, so it's really good that we did check the tickets. We got an email, we've booked it all through Get Your Guide, and Tom got an email being like, it's tomorrow, and we were like, it's tomorrow. So we are heading over to the pier where we're going to get a boat over to Alcatraz, which is on an island about 1.5 miles just off of the mainland. So yeah, super excited. This is like by far one of the most popular things to do in San Francisco. So we are down at Fisherman's Wharf, which is the area that we were in yesterday with like the bread shop and stuff. That is also where the piers are, and behind me you can probably see it. Yeah, there it is. That is Alcatraz Island. So to give you a tiny bit of history, I'm actually gonna give you to Tom because I don't know it as well as Tom.
It was like a high security prison. It was basically seen as like, once you're on there, it was advertised like not being escapable because it's surrounded by all the water and everything, which makes sense. But then if you've seen Escape from Alcatraz and know the story, I'm sure you'll be aware that 3 people attempted to escape. To
be honest, they might not be aware of that because I'd never ever heard of that until I met you.
It's a brilliant film. It is out in like, I think it was like 79, so it is quite an old film. You should watch it. It's really good, and it's a really good story, and it is a true story. Yeah. Whether you think they escaped or not remains to be seen, but I actually think they do, personally.
Well, it doesn't remain to be seen. Even if they did escape, they'll definitely be dead by now.
Not necessarily. They'd be in the 90s. But it's a really interesting story, and we're going to learn a bit more about it today, and I think you get to see like the actual cell where they escaped from. I
don't think the tour itself is fully focused around the escape. It is also a look at the prison as it was, because right after this happened, it closed down.
Not instantly though, weirdly. We were in the prison for like a year, and then we're like, okay, no.
Yeah, because I think obviously people got wind of the fact that people escaped, so they closed the whole thing down and they left it. And then I think, was it in the 80s they opened it as like a visitor attraction?
I'm not sure when it like reopened. There's a lot of cool history about it.
Tom's been super interested in this for as long as I've known him. Like his like weird fascination. If mine is with true crime, Tom's is with Alcatraz prison.
I think it was I think my dad made me watch the film.
Yeah,
then I was just like really engaged in the story of it, and I've just watched like so many documentaries on it. I'm not on about like this is like over years, not like it's not something I watch like every week. I've seen loads of different takes on it, and it's just, I just think it's quite an interesting story. It
is interesting, so we're going to go learn some more about it, and I'm going to bring you along and show you. But it is weird to be like standing directly opposite it in real life.
It is, like I know the camera's there, but I'm just like looking at it because I'm like, I've never really seen it with my own eyes.
It's not that far off the mainland either, guys. Like I know that Tom's saying they advertised it as inescapable, but I'm not going to lie, I feel like if you got out, you could swim this.
I think it's like just over a mile.
Yeah, it's 1.5 miles. I mean, I couldn't swim it, but like you could swim it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and they do. That's another thing that they actually do. They do like a swimming thing in here every year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to get in this bay. It's cold, but
yeah, it is cold. Well, did they do it?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go see. I do sort of hate being the person that goes abroad and gets a Starbucks, but I feel like when it's the US, this is kind of okay. Also, it's just really quick because we're waiting to get the boat, and the boat goes from here, and the Starbucks is right here. Also, guys, here is a pro travel tip. That's really hard to say. Starbucks give out these like large size water for free if you ask for it, and they give you it with ice. Like this is really decent. It means you don't have to go somewhere, buy a bottle. I'm not sure if you have to be buying an item, but like
And please join us right over here for this quick orientation. And once again, we'll be going over what's going on out here today, where you can get your audio tour, and a few other quick rules and information. Once again, we'll be getting started in another moment, so please join us right over here at the dock. Thank you.
So then we headed in for our audio tour. This was included in the tickets that we'd bought on Get Your Guide, but I think like pretty much everybody that comes to the island does this audio tour. It's actually really, really interesting. Like sometimes these can be a little bit boring, but it's really like interactive. It's just done really well. It lasts like 30 minutes, so it's a really good amount of time, and it takes you all around the prison. You get to see all the different blocks, all the different cells, and basically there were like varying degrees of cells. Like some of them were semi-okay, if you could possibly say that, and then some of them were absolutely awful. Can you imagine living in a cell just this size? Like it's absolutely insane. Also, this is a recreation of the like paper mache heads that the escapees made to like trick the guards. This is the kitchen space. We actually listened to a talk in here about Al Capone because he was like one of the most famous inmates, and yeah, that was basically it. But it was just really, really interesting, and we got to like have a wander around after we'd finished the audio tour as well. Here we are in the courtyard. This is their recreational area where prisoners were allowed out for 2 hours on a weekend, I think, was it? Pretty sure that's what I read. Oh, maybe it was an hour every day. I thought it was just twice a week. I don't know. But basically, they're allowed out here if they were good. Yeah, I bet they did. Yeah, for sure, this is where the movie was filmed. Are you having a laugh? You couldn't get better blue skies than this. And this is the Golden Gate Bridge. How has this layer of cloud just sat perfectly on top of the bridge? It's like somebody's put this into Photoshop and then smudged the bridge out. Like, it's crazy. Here we go, Tom's first ever In-N-Out burger experience. And mine, but I don't think there's gonna be anything I can order in here. So we are about to pass underneath the Golden Gate Bridge on this little boat tour that we've just come on, but like, where actually is the bridge? Is this a joke? You wouldn't even know this boat was on water looking at this. Here it is, guys. See if you can make any of it out. I can see the leg of the first tower, and currently that is all. So what I was saying yesterday when I was in the room before that other girl came in was we're basically staying in a pod style hostel, and let me show you it. So it's super dark in here, it's quite hard to make out, but this is mine and Tom's pod, and basically it is just like a bed in a glass box really with these curtains, but it is pretty well equipped in terms of like it's got everything we need. It's got a bedside table, and then all the plugs are in the wall here, and then there's a little bit of floor space for the bags, but then our big bags are out here. Also have this locker, little chair, and then on this side this is somebody else's, but there's nobody actually in here right now, which is nice, just Tom and I in the room because the girl that was in here did just check out. But yeah, it's like kind of a strange design. I didn't realize when I booked it that there would be another one. I thought it meant like 2 people per pod, as in 2 people to the room, but it meant 2 people to the actual this. Does that make sense? However, it is pretty handy. It was just like the cheapest option. I knew that we would be barely in the room. Like, we've been walking around the city so much. We've basically just been in here to sleep. And with us only being here for like 3 or 4 days, we were like, right, we want to see as much as the city. Like, we're not really here to be in the hotel or the hostel. So that's why I booked this. And also because the city's very expensive and this accommodation was very reasonably priced and it had great reviews. Like I say, they're mainly based out of New York, but I would definitely look at using this in New York in the future, because like if I'm ever in that city again, accommodation is a nightmare to find for like affordable. This is decent. We have come for dinner at a little pizzeria called Yellow Moto, which is really cute. It's on Valencia Street in the Mission District, which is like a really popular eatery area in San Francisco. I don't know if you can see, it says Valencia Street. But it's got really cute like outdoor dining. There's a lot of places like this here. I just really like it. But we are actually sat inside because it's pretty chilly, so I'm really glad we got a seat inside.
Molly always gets the camera out as soon as I go on my phone. I swear it's like every time, so it always looks like I'm on my phone.
Do you want to know what Tom was actually doing?
I was looking for a dessert place.
And we've not even had the main course yet, and he's on dessert.
But like, I've literally been sat here and I just did that, and then you go like that with the camera.
No, but this is ridiculous. Why are the food portions so big here? But I'm not mad at it. I'm actually really happy about it because we've done another 16,000 steps today, and I am starving right now. So we are gonna tuck in. Tom's gone for 4 cheese, I've gone for margarita. So this is Valencia Street in Mission District, I think it's called the Mission District. There's just a lot going on here. If you're coming to San Francisco and you're looking for somewhere to eat, there's like live bands playing out there. There's a live band playing here. This is definitely seems to be where the party is at on a Friday evening. Good morning from Phil's Coffee, which apparently is quite famous here in San Francisco. I've had a few people recommend this to me. Yeah, it seems really cool. I've not got my coffee yet, so I can't actually vouch for if it is cool, but it seems really cool. Like when you step through the door, you can tell this is vibey. I think it's like San Francisco's own chain of coffee, because there are a few in the city, but like it's San Francisco based. Okay, so we have hired bikes, like push bike. I'm on it here, and for the first time, guys, I can see, where is it? The top of the Golden Gate Bridge. I've lost it now. It's here somewhere, there it is. Because the fog is clearing. It's not cleared, but it's clearing. So we've hired these bikes because we're hoping that by the time we get over there, maybe it's gonna be clear. We're gonna pop to CVS first, which is just a pharmacy. By the time we've done that, hopefully, we're hoping, maybe we'll see the bridge. But we finally made it, and the view is clear-ish. We've still got the cloud, but you know, it kind of adds to it. I feel like it's very San Francisco. And we were also at this like beautiful lake. This is called like Chrissy Park, I'm pretty sure. If you're ever here and you wanted to know where this viewpoint is, I think it's called Chrissy Park. And it's pretty clear, like there's not too many people down here because it's like a cycle lane and a running lane, so it's not really busy. That's the money shot that we've been waiting for. The whole time it's been thick with cloud. And now, here we are, the Golden Gate Bridge, and you can see the top of it. We are about to eat the leftover pizza from last night that we got in a box from the restaurant, because I was like, this is a great way to have a free lunch that's not free because we paid for it yesterday. But also we just didn't eat all the pizza, so I was like, oh my god, amazing. Look at the view. We just cycled over that. I think I'll probably have inserted a video of it. If I haven't, I'll insert it now. So we are currently cycling down JFK Promenade, which kind of runs all the way through. I think this is called Golden Gate Park, and it's all pedestrianised. It's amazing. Everybody here is like cycling or on rollerblades, and this is probably the nicest bit of the city that we've actually been in. Yeah, this whole area is just closed for vehicles, so it's really nice because it means you can just bike around and you don't have to worry about being hit by a car. Right, I need to clear my camera memory card, so I'm currently vlogging on my phone. Oh my god, I've like cried my makeup off. That's from the wind on the bike. Also, my top tip is to not do cycling in wide leg jeans, because I'm currently rocking the worst fashion you've ever seen. I've tucked them into my socks like a true cyclist. But we've stopped off in this little park. It is such a beautiful day now. The weather is so hit and miss here. It changes so rapidly. But we've stopped because we passed a stall selling hot dogs, and they also sell vegetarian hot dogs, which never happens. So we're stopping off, even though we did have pizza like 2 hours ago. We've cycled, I don't even know how far, I'll tell you the kilometres when we get back. A long way. We've just given the bike back, and I'm walking back to the hostel. I think we just walked up the steepest street in San Francisco. My calves and my glutes and my quads are about to cramp up. Like, I've never done this much exercise in one day. We've been out for about maybe 8 or 9 hours, probably about 9 hours by now, and we've been exercising the whole time. I've been exercising for 9 hours. Who am I? You can see Tom through the glass door. I've got to hold you at this angle because you're in the pod, and it just gets worse the further down we go. So it's been a while. I think I told you we hired bikes, right? So it cost us $32 to hire this bike for the day, just a push bike, and we biked 30 kilometers around the city, and that would be an impressive journey if I was at home, if I was in Australia, if I was anywhere, right? But San Francisco is notoriously hilly, and I can't actually tell you how much of a leg workout that is. Plus on top, here's Tom, he's picking a t-shirt. On top of the 30-kilometer bike ride, we also walked 10 kilometers. So when I tell you my feet feel like I've done a marathon, well, I don't know what that would feel like. Actually, absolutely not. If you've done a marathon, I can't even compare it, actually. Yeah, my feet are killing me. We came back, we've had a nap for an hour because we got up at like 6:45 this morning to go out to do all of this super early, and it was so worth it, guys. Here's Tom. I'm gonna say This looks so funny through the glass. He's not happy. His feet's hurting him. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. My feet are hurting me actually more than my feet. My bum is hurting me from 30 kilometers on a bike. Like my tailbone is so sore. You're going back to bed? No, we're not. We're going out for one last San Francisco dinner.
Yeah. After having a little nap.
No, don't crease your top more than it already is. Anyway, we're going to a restaurant called Nobby's Cafe, I think. Is that what it's called? One of you guys recommended it. I think I've just got the name wrong. And then when I was Googling popular restaurants, it kept coming up. And it kept coming up on my Instagram. And I was like, fate is telling me tonight we're going here. So I've popped this skirt on because I cannot possibly wear jeans. I don't know why I wore jeans to do all that exercise. Admittedly, they're not tight jeans. So like, it wasn't uncomfortable. It was just annoying to ride a bike in them. One last dinner in San Francisco. So we are at Nob Hill Cafe, turns out that's what it's called, and it's like a really little authentic Italian. There's not many tables in here at all. We did have to wait outside for one, but I've got their arrabbiata with like vodka cream sauce, and oh my god, I'm so excited about it. This was the name of the restaurant if you're ever in this area of San Francisco. It's just on Taylor Street, ironically, and it's called Nob Hill Cafe. So cute. So I feel like I'm not really updated on this, but Tom has booked and sorted everything that we've done this whole trip. So like the Alcatraz tour, with the exception of the restaurants, because I did have a bit of a say in the restaurants. Everything else, yeah, it is. So like the boat tour, the Alcatraz tour, pretty much everything has been organised by Tom. And for our final evening, we're going on a little walking tour of the locations that they filmed Venom.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, but I just thought, like, I'm probably not going to be back here, or not for a while. Well, maybe next year, but
maybe next year.
I mean, like, to do this, like, I wouldn't be back to do this because no one else would be interested.
I don't know if your friends
a bit of spare time.
Marvel fans. Are we gonna die here? Anyway, Tom basically is a massive fan of the films Venom, if you've not seen them. It's basically...
yeah, just like all the Marvel films are pretty
all
good.
Of the Marvel movies.
But not too many are filmed in San Francisco.
True.
So I didn't even think about it. It was just like literally this morning. I was like, I'm sure Venom's filmed here. And then I just Googled a few locations, and actually some of them we've already seen by accident. Yeah. Because they're like obviously like landmarks. Yeah. And then there was just one more that weren't interested in the vlog at all, but I just thought I'd come and see it. And I'm just here for the ride. I have seen the films. Is there 2 Venom movies? Yes. Yeah, I've seen them, but I can't say I could tell you what happened in them. Tom's thriving because this is where Stan Lee stood, apparently. Yeah, look. No, to be honest, it is cool. There you go, guys. There's the scene in the movie. And you can see like the pavement, like, is the bit there. And then here's the scene in real life. It is pretty similar. Never had a bit the thing looked closer and bigger. Whatever it's called, but yeah. Like it looks a lot nearer. Yeah. I'm going to end this vlog here. I'm so aware that it is super long, so I'm not going to waffle on, but thank you so much for watching my first ever vlog from San Francisco. I have genuinely really enjoyed being here, but it's not actually what I expected from the city. Like, I definitely think I would come back if I was like on the west coast of America. Probably not just to visit San Francisco though. I do sort of think like kind of city you could maybe spend 3 or 4 days in, but I definitely feel like we've kind of seen the most of it. I also think it's a city of like massive contrast. Like there are really beautiful areas, and then I guess like any city there are areas that definitely aren't. I think maybe this is a subconscious thing rather than a conscious thing, but sometimes I just don't always feel as safe in the US generally, and I definitely think this is in my own head, but like I definitely have felt, I've walked down some streets here and I'm like a bit scared. I kind of did expect that, to be honest. Like I've obviously heard other people that have been to San Francisco like say similar things, and like LA and California generally, but yeah, I definitely do think we saw that firsthand. So definitely a mixed bag. Overall I did really enjoy it. Like I do think that it's a beautiful city. It has some really interesting history. I really enjoyed visiting Alcatraz. I think that like the history of that prison is so interesting, and to be honest the history of like the Bay Area and like how so many different people have lived there and like owned this land, I think it's really interesting. But yeah, I definitely think it's a city of contrast. That would be my way of describing it. Said I wasn't gonna waffle and I've bloody waffled on. So subscribe if you did enjoy this vlog, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've ever visited San Francisco, any areas that we missed or that you've been to as well. Other than that, I'm gonna go, and my next videos on my channel shall all be from Los Angeles. Right, this clip is somehow 2 minutes long. Bye guys.